Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Tuesday, and all of our guests today, including Craig Button, standing by, brought to you by our title sponsor, Able Auctions, ableauctions.ca, as we're joined by TSN Scouting Director Craig Button. Craig, thanks for doing this, sir. You're in Texas, we understand.
Oh.
How are you?
I am really well. I am in Texas. The U18 championship is on, and last night I had some time, got down to see the Avs and the Stars play Game 5. Pretty electric atmosphere, but you get into the playoff mode, and it's not just on the ice; it's the spirit and the energy in the building as well. And it's a whole different animal when you get to the playoffs. So it was a lot of fun to be there.
I haven't been to that particular arena, Craig. It comes across so well on television, especially at this time of year. I'm guessing you'd agree that it's one of the better atmospheres.
It's a great atmosphere, Donnie. You get in there before the game. People are gathering. People are all excited. They're all wearing their Dallas Stars jerseys and any type of paraphernalia that goes with it. And it's a great energy. It really is a great energy. It takes me back to my days with the Dallas Stars. Being in the building last night, you really feel good about where the organization finds itself and where hockey finds itself. I think more importantly, where hockey finds itself in the state of Texas and particularly in Dallas.
And one other thing regarding, before we get to the World Under-18s, which is why you were in Texas, but the Stars beat the Avalanche 6-2. They're up 3-2. Craig, where would they be if they had Miro Heiskanen and Jason Robertson in their lineup?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I was talking to Brendan Morrow last night during the first intermission, and we were just chatting about being an underdog. And he said, obviously Heiskanen's out, Jason Robertson's out. If you had those guys, you wouldn't be an underdog. But they got a great spirit in their team. They're well coached. They're really competitive. They have enough offense. What I will say is this, Donnie, and this is what Brendan said. He said, Miro comes back, Jason comes back. Why aren't we one of the top favorites for the Stanley Cup? I can't argue that, because you're going to beat a top team in Colorado if you can close out the series in one of the next two games. And then you're getting those two guys back. Wow. Talk about significant additions that just bolster your lineup. That would be an understatement to say that they would become significant favorites.
Hey, Craig, the Canucks, when they go into this draft, I'm going to guess, they're going to want to draft a centerman. They got issues at center, depth-wise, organization, the whole 9 yards. There's a kid in Dallas right now, Ben Kendall from Coquitlam, Calgary Hitman. How's he been, and where do you see him going in the first round of the draft, Craig?
Well, I think he'll go in the first round. I'm not so sure that Ben's not going to find his way to the wing when it comes to NHL. I mean, a lot of players, they play center in junior, and certainly Ben is a real good player. But I personally, my projection is him as a winger and a really good two-way winger, add some offense. So I think that always becomes part of your calculus, Donnie, or Rick, excuse me, when you're looking at players. Like, are they going to be a true center? I think there's a lot of centers in this draft. I think there's a lot of really good centers that I think can fit that projection of being a center in the National Hockey League. And where the Canucks picking? They're picking 13th.
15th.
Is that where they're picking?
Something like, yeah.
Depending on the lottery, which is Monday, by the way.
Yeah, but 15th, like, they're going to have an opportunity. I think it's a center-heavy draft. I think they're going to be able to look at a couple of centers. I mean, Cole Reshney, who's playing in Victoria, Braden Cooch, who's playing in Seattle. Those are just a couple of the guys that come to mind. I mean, Hagens, Frondell, Misa, Desnoyers. I don't know what the situation will be with Roger McQueen, considering his injury. And the NHL teams watching what happened last year with respect to Caden Lidstrom. So that could have an impact. But if they want a center, they're going to be able to zero in on some centers and draft one if that's what they want to do with their first round pick.
Hey, Craig, when you were GM in the NHL, you must have signed a ton of kids out of the NCAA. Are you surprised that the Canucks and Tom Willander are in a stalemate? I mean, they're about $200,000 apart. They're kind of dug in their heels. There's no contract. He's in Europe right now. He should be in Abbotsford playing for the Canucks farm team. Are you surprised with a first-round pick this is happening with the Canucks?
would say yes, but what I would add to that, Rick, is don't be concerned. I mean, he's finished 2 years at Boston University. He's a really good player, and just because he's not in Abbotsford, he's playing in the World Championships. He's got a real good chance to go play with Sweden, which is really important for his continued development and whatnot. Yeah, I believe. Rick and Donnie, that there's a template there that I guess in negotiations you can hold a position or whatnot. Bottom line is that if you're saying 200,000 apart, like find a way to get a deal done.
Yeah.
Because you're not millions of dollars apart. $200,000 is minuscule, and when you're talking about a player that can come in and be a real important part of your future, you find a way to get these deals done. So I don't know what all the issues are. I certainly would say that the parameters for a contract are like they're known. It's there. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm surprised, yes, but I would say to every Canucks fan, don't be concerned because I mean he's a promising player, and I think that eventually things will get done. And the fact that he's now playing with Sweden's national team is not a negative.
Craig, the focus of our show today, or at least one of them, has been the lack of a practice facility for the Vancouver Canucks. Once the Flames get their practice facility built in the near future, your neck of the woods, the Canucks will be the only team in the NHL without a practice facility. And now we understand it's an issue with Rick Tocchet, maybe an issue with the players as well. How important is it for a team to have a practice facility at the NHL level?
Well, I think it's incredibly important, Donnie. That's where the center, what I would call the central nerve system of your team is. It's at the practice facility. The players mingling, being together, practicing, coaches being in an environment where they have everything at their disposal. Players in terms of conditioning, nutrition, everything that goes with it. And make no mistake about it, the players want that. The players demand it. And so an organization needs to provide it. So if you're the Vancouver Canucks and you're not doing everything you can to provide these types of facilities for coaches and players and everybody involved, then you're falling short. That's as simple as I can put it. You're falling short, and it could be a hindrance. Forget about Rick Tocchet, and I'm not saying forget about him. I mean, he's looking at it. He knows the importance of it. It matters to the players. And if you want to attract players, you better give yourself every advantage and not have built-in disadvantages. Not having a practice facility is a built-in disadvantage.
How's the weather down there?
It's warm. It's humid. I'm not used to humidity anymore, but being in Alberta. But it's nice. It's I guess in around the 25, 26 degrees Celsius mark. So it's nice in April. Trust me.
Well, enjoy it, Craig, and we can't thank you enough for doing this.
Do you guys have a practice facility?
Here? Does it?
Yeah, it's by the washroom, just a little bit to our left.
Craig, does it sound or look like we practice? No, we don't.
Oh, well, yeah, but I know there's a central nerve system to the operations. So.
Yeah. What you see is what we got. That's
This is it.
Okay. Okay. Well, keep up the great work.
Okay.
Just see you next week.
You bet. Thanks, Craig.